What's up, you guys? I'm Nick. Welcome to Tyrfing Crafts. Welcome back, guys. This week we're going to do something a touch more akin to the reason why I started drawing Pokemon stuff to begin with. About a year and a half ago, I decided I wanted to create my own Pokemon region. One, after seeing numerous YouTube artists do it themselves, I kind of wanted to just throw my hand at it and see what I could come up with. And as I looked back, I remembered that the Unova region was based on the United States. More specifically based on the northern United States. And if I remember correctly, more specifically, New York. And though New York is a very noted and notable place in the United States, it's definitely not the only place in the United States. The United States is full of a vast diversity of people from coast to coast, numerous cultures all the way across the board. I wanted to focus more heavily on some of the areas that I am more akin to. Areas that are more the area that I know and that I love. And that is the southeast to Midwest area. From Florida, North Carolina, all the way to Oklahoma, Texas, in that area. And I wanted to kind of encompass all of that into its own region. Which, as I progress through my art journey across this channel, I do intend to start to boost that more and more and incorporate more of that into some of my videos. However, for this video, I wanted to create my first notable regional variant for this region. And in order to do so, I went ahead and went with a Gen 1 Pokemon that, again, much like the Seal and Dugong of my last video, Game Freak kind of just swept under the rug and forgot about. And I wasn't a big fan of the fact that they had forgotten this Pokemon for a couple of reasons. One reason is because, truthfully, I liked it more than Pidgey. I really did. And that Pokemon is Spearow. The other reason I kind of hate the fact that Game Freak kind of swept Spearow and Fearow under the rug is because I feel like a lot more can be done with both Pokemon, and specifically that line of Pokemon. For this video, I not only wanted to take a Spearow, bring it to this region, I also wanted to kind of incorporate aspects of this into it as best I could. This is a grasshopper sparrow. A lot more common in the southeastern United States. I believe over toward Florida is where it's the most common. But I felt like it was an extremely interesting looking variation of a sparrow that would work really well for boosting a Spearow. But less talking about that. Let's go down the table and see what it is that we're using. For this, we decided to use the Spectrum Noir Jazza's Pro Artist Series, the Illustrator Collection. Truthfully, I've loved using this since I got it, so my choice to continue to use it was pretty easy. But let's get to drawing. To start, we started rough shaping in the head, trying to stay as true to a Canto Spiro as possible at the time and incorporate in aspects of that grasshopper sparrow. I went in and started roughing in the beak, trying to keep the mouth shape as close to the original as possible. And then I started in on the eyes. When it came to the eyes, I wanted the eye shape to be roughly the same. But as time progressed, I realized I didn't want the eyes to be facing in the same direction. I wanted them to be facing more at the viewer rather than in the direction of the Spiro's head turn. When it came to the head feathers or that crest on the Spiro, I decided I wanted to make it a touch more subtle. I then went in and started roughing out the body before finishing up the head crest, just to make sure I had the proportions as close to accurate as they could be. I roughed in the feet, and then I went toward the tail. At this point, myself and the live chat had discussed the tail not being as aesthetically appealing. So I used a fletchling as a reference to sort of adjust the way the tail looked. I then went in and laid in the final feathers to the head and neck crest and added in the irises to the eyes. I then went in and started adding details to the body and realized that I wasn't so happy with the way the tail looked. I wanted it to look more draconic. I had decided that I wanted this to be a dragon flying type rather than a normal flying type like a traditional Spiro. So I went in, roughed in the wings, along with making adjustments to the rest of the face and body, taking the beak, making it a bit more toothy. I darkened in the lines for referencing for when I go into the inking process. That way I knew where my definitive inking points would be. I then went in and added the stripes that are on a grasshopper sparrow's head to the top of the Spiro's head. I went in and started on the feet, and it was while working on the forward-facing foot that I kind of realized I should probably start putting a floor of some sort in when I'm drawing a piece that has feet. That way I can at least get the feet positioned and proportioned correctly when doing something akin to a bird's talons. Once I finished off the legs, I felt like it was good enough that I decided to go straight into inking. I decided to use my .1 fine liner to line out the piece. Most of the line work ended up being pretty simple to put in and get to where I felt it looked clean and crisp enough to move on, until I got to the tip of the tail, which you will see in a few moments. Once I got to the tip of the tail, I decided that I wanted to adjust it. So I erased the initial design and tried to incorporate more of a design aesthetic to a fletchling's tail. This won't be the last time I make an alteration to the tip of the tail throughout this piece, but for now, during the inking process, that was the only thing I did, was made that adjustment. Once the inking was done, I went in, erased all the construction lines, and then it was on to coloring. To start off the coloring, I stuck with sort of the same rough color of a grasshopper sparrow for the belly and legs of the sparrow. And then as I would go on, I would incorporate more reds and blues, as well as some purples, to hopefully make the color palette pop. And then once I started getting toward the end and coloring in the wings, I had left the color choice up to the live chat, and no one was able to really come to a consensus as far as what color to do for the wings. And since the poll that I had put up ended up as a relative tie, I went ahead and decided to do both colors, and you'll see how that turns out later on. I tried utilizing the purples of a custom variation to Flygon that I had found on Google, which you'll see over on the left hand side of the page, and tried to match that purple to an extent without using the exact same color palette of that image. But enjoy the rest of the process. All right, you guys, and there you have it. Over here, you have the original normal flying type Spearow. Over here, there, you have the new, and in my mind improved, dragon flying type Spearow. Honestly, I enjoyed highly working on this piece. So let me know which one you like more in the comments below. If you've liked this video, hit the like button. Then remember to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. That way you know every time I post a new video. Then if you want to show us your support, come and join us over on Patreon at patreon.com/Tyrfing Crafts. And if you've done that, you might as well come and join us over on Facebook at Tyrfing Crafts, Handcrafted Arts and Gaming, where every week we go live twice a week, currently on Thursdays and Saturdays at 9:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we explore a vast array of different arts. Currently speaking, we're doing a lot of this because that's what the fans over there have wanted. But we explore numerous forms of art and gaming, especially tabletop gaming. But come check us out. For now, you guys have a great one, and I'll catch you next time.